nobody likes bullies. Bullies do not become popular. They don't walk around being the prettiest, the most wanted girls around. What else? Sports guys, maybe football players, don't hang out only with other football players, obviously. Nerds do not only become friends with other nerds, etc., etc. So obviously it's more of a stereotype that American high school life has this type of gangs forming based solely on the description, on their description, on their appearance, or maybe on their interests. So when you go to a normal school, you don't see a group of black people hanging out only with black people. Maybe Asians are friends only with Asians, nerds with nerds, football players with football players, theater kids with theater kids. They're more intertwined between each other. People are friends with everybody that they want to be friends with. You don't need to share an exact interest with the person to be friends with. So that's an aspect that I do get wrong, is we don't have this interest gangs forming in high schools, in even colleges and universities. I think especially colleges and universities. Wow, maybe you do have like a group of certain groups forming in high school, in colleges, in universities. You don't have them at all. So university is already like high level of education that people focus solely on education, because it's also very expensive to get an education in America, and you cannot waste time to be friends with a specific person, or maybe going to parties every day and stuff like that. And that's another example that I wanted to discuss. It's those wild parties that happen in every teenage movie. We don't have them. I mean, maybe we do, but it's like one lifetime opportunity. It doesn't happen every time. We don't have parties every weekend. We don't have crazy parties that 200 people come in and destroy stuff, and the police is called in, and everybody's drunk, everybody's drugged. I've never encountered anything like that, honestly. Country life is a good example, actually, and I think I'm going to discuss that later. Yeah, and I was born in I was born in Florida, in Orlando, but I grew up in Seattle, in Washington State. I'm a Floridian, but I'm not proud of it. I think lots of people don't like Floridian people because every crazy event happens in Florida. It's absurd. We have lots of crazy people, so Floridians are crazy. What was I talking about? Yeah, we don't have huge, crazy parties of 200, 300 people happening. I think many people would like it to happen. Maybe people like watching the movies that portray these parties, but I've never been to one, unfortunately. I cannot tell exactly what happens in those parties. I know they do exist, but they're very, very rare to organize. And especially high school parties, because the majority of high schoolers graduate maybe at 18, 19 maximum years old, and we're still not allowed to drink until we get 21. So having these crazy parties with alcohol would always end up quite badly, because it's illegal for people under 21 to consume any type of alcohol, which is a crazy rule. I think it's 18 here, but whatever, we're crazy. were more strict with these type of rules. Next point, country life. Exactly. Although I'm not sure exactly about crazy events. What do you mean? Are you talking about Florida? When I was talking about Florida? If it's about Florida, that's like a whole another discussion. Wow, that's. I might have a few examples for that later. Yeah, okay. A funny story. Okay, let's forget about movies for just 5 minutes. Florida. There's a meme going around. I mean, it's not like a meme, but it's more of a joke that's been going around for ages. You can type in, you can open up Google, and you can type in, I have my computer right here, so I can type in Florida man, and the date of your birth, which is, for me, it's going to be April 29th, for example. Because of the rule that Florida has, that every arrest, every criminal charge is public, lots of newspapers write about even like the craziest arrests, craziest things that people did to get arrested. So, for example, on the first search result for my date, which is 29th of April, so you type Florida man and the date of your birthday. The crazy, the newspaper article for my birthday is Florida man shoots wife in bathroom, mistaking her for a robber. Obviously, we have lots of crazy stuff, like people try to, I don't know, like rob a magazine, 7-Eleven, holding like a gator, a crocodile, stuff like that. I mean, it's more of a joke that happens, so you have to like not research, just like Google my connection again. Google Florida man, the date of your birthday, and the first article that you pop up, that's the articles are quite funny. So that's the joke going around, that Floridians are crazy, because the majority of articles are like ridiculous, are completely stupid. Florida man tried to kiss his mother. Yeah, I mean, did he get arrested for that? What happened? I mean, it's what happens. It's Florida. That's Florida. That's why the joke going around for us that Florida is like the crazy state. We often joke of like kicking Florida out. So instead of having 50 states, we're gonna kick Florida out, and it's gonna become 49 states or something like that. So that's the joke that we often have. He was charged. That's amazing. That's actually funny. So okay, let's forget about Florida. Florida is crazy. I'm not proud of being born in Florida, but that's okay. Let's go back to the movies that we were discussing. As somebody mentioned before, country life. My point was, maybe it has to do something with the country life. I'm not sure what the stereotype exactly is, but my point of American life was that the majority of people that watch movies always see the majority of movies happen in New York or Los Angeles. Los Angeles and New York are not the real America. Surprise, surprise. Obviously, Los Angeles is an obvious choice for movies since it's the place of Hollywood, obviously. But the real America is the opposite of those big cities. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it would be the same. It would be unfair to describe Kazakhstan just by Astana. It's not a good comparison that the whole of Kazakhstan is just Astana. You have smaller cities, you have country, you have smaller neighborhoods, you have nature and lots of nature around with no people at all. All stories are in LA or New York City. Yeah, obviously. Oh, but LA, obviously, it's Hollywood. Borat, oh, okay. Hi, hello. Borat, yeah, that's unfortunate a little bit because not many people know about the existence of Kazakhstan, but almost everybody knows Borat. So, although many people don't even remember that he was supposed to be like Kazakh, representing Kazakh people of Kazakhstan, but we do know about Borat and the whole character of Borat. I mean, Sacha Baron is amazing. I love him. But yeah, I think like Borat is not a fair representation of Kazakh people. That's why I'm also saying that Hollywood movies are not a fair representation of us, obviously. So since Triple G now, okay, yeah. What was the other movie? Borat, Triple G. There was something else. I mean, he has lots of amazing movies, and I love him. I like him very much. And all his movies. Although he's like more of a troll, I would say, but he's funny. If you do not get easily offended, he's very funny. So okay. Since we're talking about the major cities, which are Los Angeles and New York, those are not the real America. What would the real America be at this point then, if not the skyscrapers of New York and maybe the beaches of Los Angeles? The majority of America is just rural. So small cities that don't have any skyscrapers, lots of nature. Texas. Well, yeah, Texas has Dallas and all the other important cities, but the majority of Texas is desert. So that was the point that I wanted to make exactly. Don't have the whole America is not just a huge, enormous city. Grand Canyon, yeah, exactly. Actually, we always divide America more in like 3 parts, which is north is always forests and woods. The middle space is the Wild West, as people like to call it, which is like fields and fields of corn and turnip and like nothing at all, just like dried up grass. And the south, which is for the majority, it's all deserts. National parks, we have amazing national parks. The Yellowstone Park is amazing. I think if anybody's into nature, like Yellowstone Park has to be like the first stop for you to travel to. if you want to travel somewhere in the United States. Grand Canyon, I've never been to Grand Canyon, unfortunately. I would like to go there, but I've never been there. Yeah, very well. Does anybody else have any typical stereotypes that might not be true? Hello, hi, thank you for joining. Maybe if anybody wants to join the live to ask the question, maybe to practice your English if anybody wants to. I'm not gonna bite anybody. Why people in America wear shoes at home? Oh my goodness. I don't know. That's a good question. I think it's all up to different cultures of people. So the thing that I've noticed, the majority of immigrants don't allow shoes at home. And obviously my household is the same. We were never allowed to have shoes at home. You always have to leave shoes at the entrance, otherwise you just bring in dirt into the house. I have had few friends, like a lot of friends actually, that don't follow the same rules, and I'm not sure why exactly, because it's always okay, sorry. I'm not sure why exactly they allow that. Because to me it still feels a little bit icky to allow shoes at home. You're still bringing in dirt from the streets, and some people even bring their shoes to the bed and stuff like that. I'm not so sure why it happens. Is it true that some teenagers are extremely mean, like in movies?